Nice.
Yeah, we need Ronaldo. See, that would have been nice.
Someone should be on that.
That would have been nice instead of me having to get up. Podcast number 1. He doesn't trust that he's needed, apparently. So.
Well, we've got one use for him already.
I know. I had him come in here, and I was just like, "Can you just sit here?" And he's all
in this chair. Yeah.
I'm like, "Just sit up like you're talking to somebody."
Oh, funny.
He's like, "Well, what if I want to relax while I'm talking?" We can do something.
Oh goodness. And what if I ran out of my bubbly? I'm gonna need another one.
I know, Ronaldo. I know, Ro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of weird. This is like my, the first
Yeah.
thing. I'm
When
when
a nice rug, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin kept banging things, and I feel like it's a lot better actually than what it was. It's not perfect, but I feel like this mic goes in and out. Still working some kinks out. So maybe you
sound good to me.
0.75.
That's fine. You might want to edit out some of this garbage at the beginning.
Oh, it'll all get edited out.
Okay.
The reason I just left it going is because I remembered to do it. So I was afraid I would forget to do
We're halfway
one of the
through.
lines or something, right?
Didn't you start the camera?
Right.
Everything is good.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. We can check the video there. That looks pretty good. How's yours look?
I mean, I can see myself. I can't see more than that on there.
You feel like we should move that over a little bit now that
No, I think it's good. I can't see any of the details. Like, is it recording? I don't know.
It is recording, yeah. It says rec on that. That's nice because it has a big old red thing around it. It shows you recording. Yeah. You get the red dot and everything. This is kind of like, is it recording? Yeah. I'm pretty sure everything else is recording. We'll see. Could get up and look again, but I think the sound is good. So
no more buzzing.
No more buzzing. I appreciate that.
That makes my ears happy.
It's been bothering me since I got those cables. I'm like that. But I feel like I swapped them out and tried them, but I don't know. Maybe they just got worse or something.
Yeah,
they're
got pulled on the wrong way. And
way better. Yeah. Way better. I don't think they did. I mean, they're brand new freaking cables.
It must be the quality.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't use the gold wrap or something, whatever they promote, they advertise. Yeah. I feel like this mic though, sometimes when I turn
you have to speak into it.
I think it's picking it up, but I think the way it monitors, it might shut off some things just to
there's probably a monitoring setting.
Yeah, in the actual Rodecaster, I think it's like like that. Just hear
it. If you whisper, it's not going to pick it up because it doesn't want to pick up all the background noise.
Yeah, it's trying to monitor. I mean, it's going to pick out. It'll sound fine there, but it's just the monitoring of it. It doesn't want to squeal in your ears or something. I think there's a setting in there that I could probably change. I don't feel like it's right. I feel like I'm turning in my head though into it. I could just maybe I need to sit up and stop.
I want to burp into the mic again.
Yeah, just see how that we can.
No, maybe not. Went away.
So, hey, thanks for your help setting this up. You do like the
yeah, it looks tacky, but yeah,
it needs to be. It's not tacky.
It looks hideous, but
what do you mean? It looks hideous.
It looks like it should be in my grandmother's house.
Well, it is brand new.
Must have been on sale.
It's the style. I did go cheap on it, Amazon cheap, but I think
Amazon. Wow.
I think if it gets ironed or something.
Yeah, maybe an iron.
Yeah.
Speaking of Amazon,
for those people that are nervous when you feel
fun
this,
to touch.
It kind of like really helps.
Can't just tap. I have an Amazon package coming that we may have to play. It's a game, card game, Survivor card game.
Oh, really?
They came out with one.
Wow.
I don't know what.
Somebody's gonna get rich on that. Is that like something that Survivor's gonna have to like approve on? Because
they made it.
Survivor came up with it.
They made it. Jeff, the host, helped make it.
After 23 years of hosting, they finally came up with it.
I think there was a game forever ago, but this is like a new one. Apparently, you can vote people out in it and get hidden immunitals. It's all on tabletop, so I have no idea. I'm gonna read it tonight.
Is it just like an hour-long game?
I have no idea.
Play right there.
I'm guessing it's not quick.
How did you find out about it? Well, you're on all those.
I saw Jeff post about it on
So
Instagram.
you're following Jeff on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
I'm not there.
I want to be on the show one day.
I don't think I've followed anybody on Survivor yet on any social media. I'm not much of an Instagram guy, but not even on Facebook or whatever.
I only see that stuff because I view. I'm on Reddit a lot for Survivor.
I'm still trying to figure out the microphone. Sorry.
It's fun to read on fan theories every week.
Reddit's hilarious, actually. There's some funny posts. People are witty and smart on Reddit.
You can find a community for anything on there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Which is why I go on Survivor.
What are some of your Reddit communities?
Survivors. When we're in season, I'm on Survivor every Wednesday. I'm on that.
Is there like they call them subreddit for like specific aspects of Survivor? Is there like a subreddit for Survivor characters?
It's just a Survivor subreddit.
Just a Survivor.
And then they'll have like different, like they'll have a reaction like during the episode airing, they'll have a thread on there that people are live commenting on during the episode, so you can like follow along maybe and get other people's reactions or post episode reactions. That's what I look at.
So Survivor is a subreddit, but there's not like a subreddit for
I mean, there might be for a specific person
episode or something like that.
Not for episodes,
no.
But a certain people might have a subreddit if you're like a big fan of somebody. I don't know. Maybe I'll have a subreddit one day once I'm on. That's the goal.
That's sounds like you still have the positive attitude. I was a little worried there for a while because I think I remember you saying at one point, like, it's not like either of us are going to get on ever, Scott, or something like that.
Well, the odds are very slim, but I'm still gonna I'm gonna actually finally attempt one more time for sure.
Finally attempt? You didn't do last year?
No, I did not. I would just about. I had everything written down and ready to go, and then I was in the hospital, so I didn't do it.
Well, so it would have been a late application because
I think they cast
August, right?
That's kind of when they cast. From what I know. So as long as you they start looking like late summer. They'll start looking. From what I've read on Reddit.
Okay,
that's how I know.
So I thought like getting mine in by May was like, oh my god, I'm way late.
No, it just depends on when the casting cycle is. So I've already read up that like in this year August is when they're going to start looking again for and they'll be casting 51 and 52, which is that'll film the following year or the year there's a whole wait period from what I know.
Okay.
I don't know much.
So do you if you get it in May, is that like too late for the prior season? Do they carry that on to?
They'll view it, but it's just it might.
Oh yeah.
They might have view it for a while. I don't know.
They might put it in the.
Yeah, it's not going to be your most recent self. Maybe that might be the only.
Yeah.
Downside to it, because you want to be yourself.
You do want to be yourself. I mean, you're gonna be yourself.
Well, some people aren't. That's why they aren't on the show. But you want to be yourself. Like, what if you made one in May and all of a sudden you're like, I kind of view life differently now.
Oh, I guess that could happen to somebody.
So then you
see. So you've gone through an experience actually that perhaps made you look at life differently. What a transition.
Well, I might have a sob story now for Survivor. Hopefully,
you might have a sob story.
That's what you need on those reality shows.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could probably, mention that in your video.
Well, I don't really mentioned. I definitely think it's changed my view on maybe life. I don't know.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So let's do a quick introduction. This is Nick Randall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Tsuzen Luckey. Sorry, it's great. It's great.
Hi, Susan.
You can call me Sue.
The T is silent, huh?
Yeah, you don't want to say the Sue.
To Tsuzen?
To
Tsuzen.
So Nick is longtime friend, and we met at CrossFit actually in 2016, 15, 16.
16, I believe.
February or March of 2016.
I think it was March.
I think it was March.
March 3rd.
I started
might have been my first
middle of February
day in the building.
Okay. And Peter finally took my payment March
Right.
1st. No.
Mine might have been in April. Yeah.
Since then, Nick is the head coach. Call it a head coach.
Head coach, manager. I throw those two around.
Yeah,
when people ask.
It's be completely blatantly honest with you. Like, calling you my boss is just not going to happen.
Well, you're fired.
So just like you,
I guess you can call Kevin your boss, maybe.
Yeah. So head coach, or what's the other head trainer? We call it head trainer at CrossFit Lacrosse.
Yeah, I usually say head coach, or I'll tell people I manage. I'm a manager. I don't know. That's the easiest to describe, because some people have no idea what a gym is, and you're like head coach, and they just get then there's a whole bunch of questions. It's easier just to say manager.
Yeah.
Then you cut down on the small talk with people. But
I just say a coach at CrossFit Lacrosse, and then they go, "What's CrossFit?"
Right. See, now you've opened up.
And then it's a kind of gym. Oh, okay, gym. Yeah, we've been we've been doing the old fasting thing. So cow down. Yeah, you and I both.
Oh, I have too. Yeah.
Yeah, cow down food at noon, right at noon, and then
I was 2 minutes early today too.
Top it up. You couldn't wait 2 minutes?
Well, I already had the food in front of me at 11:58. I was like, how dumb is it to wait 2 minutes?
Well, you're training your brain that you don't have control. If you indulge 2 minutes prior, tomorrow it's going to be 5 minutes.
It won't be, because I'm more.
2 minutes is your cusp.
I'm mentally strong more than you, I guess.
Well, I wait till noon, not even a minute.
2 minutes.
Not even 2 minutes.
I didn't want it to get cold. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, my breakfast is freezing cold by the time I eat it. Because I don't care if I'm intermittent fasting. I ain't skipping breakfast. I like eggs too much.
No.
I have started to avoid the tortilla on my burrito. So now it's like an egg and cheese burrito.
Yeah, I went to the lower calorie tortillas.
Oh. Yeah.
Which still tastes fine.
See, I can't do
that. But half the calories.
I can't do that. We'll get into another thing here.
And half the carbs.
With the
folic
acid, yeah. It's hard to find a low-cal tortilla. Low-cal organic tortilla.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Acid.
I'm sure this one's got acid in it.
So I just get rid of them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
See, I just lost my.
But I just changed my numbers for my little diet I'm on.
Calorie-wise, up or down?
I was at 2,300 calories.
For how long?
For about 3 weeks, and then or 3 or 4 weeks, and then now I bumped it to 2,500.
Okay. Did you?
Because I wanted to put more protein in. So.
Did you lose weight?
Yeah.
Did you get rid of some of your badunkadunk?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was.
When did you realize you're gaining too much weight? I mean, you're pushing 30. I mean, so let's back up a second, okay?
We did jump ahead here.
We did jump ahead. So you are post brain aneurysm stroke.
Not an aneurysm.
No. What do we?
It was a hemorrhagic stroke.
Hemorrhagic
on my
stroke
brain stem.
So what exactly is a hemorrhagic stroke?
I'm sure you've researched. From what I know, I'm going to get something wrong.
You haven't researched it.
No, I just
kind of. From what I know. Come on, blame it on the
from
stroke,
the doctors.
From what I remember.
Like a blood vessel. Apparently, I've got extra blood vessels. Something's extra vascular activity in my head.
See, I'm remembering this.
And something bled.
A clump of blood.
Just because wasn't caused from a certain thing. Bled, and when you bleed in your brain, there's nowhere for it to go, so it just kind of squishes things, damages things. So that's why I ended up in the hospital for a while.
Yeah.
And I lost some function and stuff, but most of it's back. But that's how I gained weight, is I sat in a hospital bed and
not only that, yeah, you're required by doctor's orders, like, to monitor your blood pressure and avoid heavy, things that are going to
it was not a great
heart rate and
for 2 years was the current outlook. Yeah. We'll see if that changes in the future, but
Yeah. Are you slated to have another MRI or anything?
In April. So I'll
so that's coming up
get
pretty quick.
reevaluated. So hopefully that's when I can maybe start doing more. I've started already doing more on my own just because I feel fine and I can't
Are you
live.
still monitoring blood pressure, or do you just kind of like figure it out now?
No, I haven't taken my blood pressure in weeks.
Should we take it right now?
No.
I can have Randall bring
I do have one out in the vehicle.
Do you?
But it's fine. I can't live just sitting around. So even if it's a little risky to move around a little bit more, I think it's better for my health that way.
I think so too.
So,
yep, I think so too. And I'm not a doctor, but so let's go back then. You had this scare, I guess. I mean, it scared all of us around you. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was really weird. It wasn't scary right away, and then it became scary.
That's right. You were still coming to the gym. You were still coaching initially.
Well, I'll tell you.
So
the day I was forced into the ER, I didn't want to go. I felt kind of fine. So
let's back up.
Yeah.
So, what did you notice first started happening when you? Because this is like a process that like took a few days basically to fill the brain to the point where you were noticing some dysfunction. So, but when did you notice a difference? So, what was going on?
Those were a few days. So I might have been like on a like early, in I don't know what week it was. This was sometime in August. I had a headache.
This past year in 24.
Yeah, I kind of had a pretty bad headache, and it kind of didn't go away. Like it was, it's third day. Well, I still have a head, and it wasn't like unbearable, but it was like.
And you've never have you been prone to headaches prior?
No, every once in a while you'd have one, and you'd take a couple ibuprofen, and it'd go away. Some over the counter stuff, but it was like, it's still lingering. That's weird. And I kind of complained about it a little bit to my wife, Sam. And of course, we thought nothing of it. It's just a headache.
Right.
And then,
I mean, you're 27 years old at that time.
Right.
26. Are you 28 now?
28 now. Yeah. So 27 at the time. About to turn 28.
And a very fit into one of the fittest individuals at our gym.
Yeah. Physically, I would say pretty fit. My diet was not so good during that time, which it's a lot better now. But I don't know. I like to indulge myself, and cereal. That can be a reason you work out. I don't know. For me,
so we used to tease you all the time about cereal, pizza, and sweets.
Well, I'm addicted to chocolate. It's pretty bad. So anything with chocolate in it, I need to have it. So
including chocolate Fruity Pebbles or something. What are they called?
No, I don't like the fruity stuff. Cocoa Puffs. It has the word cocoa in it.
Cocoa Pebbles.
I'm eating it. Yeah. And I'm eating a lot of it.
Right.
Not anymore, though.
Morning, noon, and night, right?
Yeah. But, but anyhow, so the headache went on for like 3 days. And then, I don't know, one morning, I think got out of the shower and I was looking in the mirror. And I was like, why are my pupils are different sizes?
Different sizes?
Yeah, one was small and one was a little bit bigger. And I was like, that's a little weird. I didn't tell anybody. Of course, I just kind of kept it to myself because I thought, maybe it will go away. If you Google that, it's like, and it's an immediate sign to go into the hospital, apparently. Right. I didn't know that. I don't know. The only thing I knew was like, that could mean like you have a concussion. That's like if your pupils are different sizes. I knew it was maybe something head related, but I was like, weird, I didn't hit my head. I don't have a concussion. Maybe I'll just go away. I don't know. And then I woke up the next day.
So you functioned that whole day.
Oh, it was totally fine. Next day, pupils are still different sizes. Still didn't say anything to anybody. I was like, boy, that's weird. And then I think that was the Saturday morning. I had worked a couple hours and I went for a run after work. Ran 3 miles. Then went grocery shopping. And then I was at the grocery store and I started to realize, boy, I can't read my phone. Like it was just blurry. Like that was a sudden change in like close-up vision. I was like, I was squinting, trying to close eyes, and I couldn't like read my grocery list very well. So that's when I went home and started saying like, hey, here's what's going on right now. And then that's when my wife Sam was like, you have to go into the ER.
So prior to that, though, you had been teasing about it at the gym. I think with
I don't
a
remember.
couple of athletes. I think Jenny was like, you were teasing with Jenny, weren't you? Like,
I don't know.
not, my eyes are weird or whatever. And
I don't. Maybe I mentioned it.
I
Yeah,
think so.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll have to. Hey, Jenny.
Get her on the phone.
She's not here.
Yeah. Yeah. So then we went in and
so this is an immediate no, drop everything. And this was supposed to be this was the day of our
that just shut off, by the way.
Why?
Is that supposed to be on?
All right. We're gonna pause.
Yep.
All right.
There it goes.
We're back. Just had to pee.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the day where the gym was having
pool party.
A pool party, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was very excited to go to the pool party.
Yeah, and you'd made your sandwiches already. I'm assuming you made them.
Yeah, we were they were just coming out of the oven and
you got rushed.
And we were like, Sam's like, we gotta go in.
So Nick's notorious for making these sandwiches that he brings to parties like all the time.
These Hawaiian rolls.
They're the same.
So you just cover them in butter and they're so addicting.
Yeah, and they are good. They're very good. In fact, I have folic acid when you make them when I shouldn't have the folic acid.
You're in for a bad day.
Right. Like, I'm doing it, darn it. I'll suffer. So anyhow, that was the day of the pool party, and then all of a sudden Nick doesn't show up to the pool party and everybody's like, What? Yeah, he went to the hospital and nobody knew what was going on.
Well, so I went in and there's a small funny story when I went in. We went in and you've never been into the ER before. They kind of like triage you first. Like, am I going to send you to the emergency side or like just urgent care
to death, or are you
to know how quickly we should get to you?
Right.
So I was getting triaged by a nurse, and this guy, and told him my symptoms and stuff, and then I was even explaining what I like did that morning, and I was like, yeah, I worked, I was just like, I even went for a run this morning. I was describing my run. He just turns to me and goes, I hate you. And that helped just break the like mood. He's just like, I hate you.
Was this some other random guy at the
the
emergency room?
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm just bragging about how I went for a run and here I am in the ER and he's triaging. It was just quite a funny interaction. Yeah. And then sure enough, he was like, all right, I'm gonna send you to the ER side. I just have a feeling, that we should get you looked at right away. So then we sat in there for a while after I got scanned and stuff, and I was bleeding. So
yeah. So did they put you right on the MRI machine?
CAT scan.
CAT scan.
That's just how they scan those types of things, I think, and it's quicker, which is nice. I'd never been in one.
You get in there, you get in the emergency room, and then
I got sent in the machine pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then we waited a long time because then at that point they didn't really know like what they were looking at. Like, boy, it's quite unusual. It's not a normal day for them. Excuse me. So they had us wait and came in and told us, and of course, I'm still at that moment feeling fine.
Right.
So I'm just like, I'm impatient. I want to go home. Blah blah blah.
Right. I mean, this is just slowly starting to.
There's just these minor symptoms still.
Right. So it's not affecting. I mean, nothing else is wrong with you, or it's like you're not. You don't have sinus issues going on. You're not.
I had my full vision still, besides the up close blurriness, and I felt fine. Could move my body. But of course,
headaches.
Sam, yep, still had the headache.
Okay.
Sam's, freaking out and taking it worse than I was. I debatably wasn't taking it serious, but I think in that situation, you just have to be lighthearted and be like, oh, it's happening. You can't really freak out because it's out of your control. That's just how I view things. But yeah. And then we waited, and then they ended up keeping me overnight that night, I believe. Because they had to monitor me, like there was like risks of seizures and stuff. Like I don't know, because they kind of knew like things are probably going to progress, but then things didn't really progress. So I got out of there after a day or two, went home, and the
Did they put you in an MRI before they sent you home, or was it
no,
just
just
the
that
CAT
one
scan?
still.
The CAT scan.
Yeah. And then no, I might have had an MRI that day. Yeah, I never had an MRI before, so that was kind of a interesting experience. It's all kind of blurry. I don't know because I went home and then I was back at the hospital like a few days later. So I don't know if what
Your right eye pupil looks bigger than the left.
they're still
Is
yeah
it
they're
still?
still not the
I'm
same.
like, is he going again?
It still hasn't recovered. So that's kind of
Okay.
there's still things that are not 100%, and that's one of them.
All right.
But then I was back into the hospital, and that's when things really started to like decrease because I went back in because I started having double vision. All of a sudden, I'm seeing two of everything, and I was like, "Oh!" So we kind of rushed back in, and they scan you again, and yeah, things are
So this is
swelling up
after
more.
being for a couple days and then
Yeah, we were
going
home for a
home.
couple days, and
What did you do during the time home? Did you go back to the gym? Did you?
yeah, I worked a little bit. I didn't do any exercise. But I tried to return to a few hours of work. That was fine. I think the morning I woke up, I had double vision. I went in and worked 2 hours early in the morning. This would be our we have a 5 o'clock class and a 6 o'clock class. So I worked both of those hours. And then, so the whole time I worked those 2 hours, I was just seeing double of everything in the room. I was like, boy, this is a little strange. And then at that point, I went home and said something. And then we went in that morning. And that's when I was in there for a full week at that point. So things kind of swelled up and things got quite worse with my vision, with the double. It was very hard to like see anything. I don't know. It was super strange to just have your vision taken away like that. It's just, it was very hard.
So you're in the hospital for a week with this stuff going on in your brain. You're not really sure what's going on. They're not really sure what's going on, right?
Yeah.
They weren't exactly.
Yeah, they had some ideas, but nothing they couldn't confirm anything.
In fact, they had to, if I remember right, they had to wait some time in order to figure out what exactly was going on.
Yeah, the idea was there was too much blood and swelling, basically blood, to like view a good image on the imaging, like MRI imaging. So I did have another MRI like a month later after that to get a little bit better picture.
So you said earlier that the MRI is just kind of weird. Kind of walk us through that, or it's interesting. I think.
Well, it makes a lot of noises. If you've never had, like, I knew it made noises, but I didn't know it made that many noises. It's just like as many. It's kind of like dial up internet, but then like crank that up another notch, and it's like just weird mechanical things. At one point, it sounds like a hammer's banging on the machine. I don't know. Very, very loud, but it was entertaining the first time. So I was like, "Ooh, that's a new noise. Ooh, there's another new one." Second time around, didn't like it at all because I was like, "This is boring," and I was very like agitated at that point.
Yeah, you'd been in the hospital a while.
So
and you're dealing with
I wasn't. I was like begging them to take me out of it by the end of it, but the first time I just laid there and kind of was just so interested in it. But the second time was not good. But well, actually, when I was in the hospital, this is I'm super glad this part is I've recovered from this part is my like left side would freeze up. It'd kind of almost be my whole body sometimes, but it's not like it wouldn't work. I just didn't know how to move my arm. Very strange feeling. Like they would put a pencil in my hand and ask me to do something, and I would just hold the pencil like an inch from the paper, and they're like, "Draw a circle," and I couldn't move. I couldn't move the pencil. Like it just would be frozen, and I was just so out of it. Like sometimes my eyes would be shut, and I couldn't move. And I would eventually like come out of it and be able to move, but that was weird because I could hear people telling me to do stuff, and I couldn't move. I don't know.
Yeah. So you remember that stuff?
Yeah.
So you remember people telling you to do stuff and not being able to move?
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do much movement at time. Like it would come and go.
It wasn't just the left side of your body, though, was it?
It, well, I'm left-handed, so maybe that's why I'm thinking it was left-sided more. But it was kind of like the full thing. Like
Yeah.
I try to do stuff with my I do everything with my left hand. So whenever I'd freeze up, I'd be maybe in the middle of a task and I just
Okay.
couldn't finish the task.
That makes so I think most strokes happen on either one side or of the brain or another, and then you kind of lose function on the other side.
The other side of the
Yours
body, yeah,
was like right smack dab, kind of in the middle
right
of
in the
brain
middle,
center,
yeah.
right?
So I'm not sure if it specifically affected a side or it was just general, just to where it was at
No,
in the brainstem. But that's why it affected my eyes. There's like an optical nerve that it pushed
kind of
on,
near there.
and it may have damaged it enough to like mess my. It was mainly my right eye that was like slow.
Well, that's the one
Which is
that's
why
wide right now.
kind of things were double vision. We got
Mhm.
one eye that's normal, and the other eye is kind of like falling downwards, or it's not able to look as quickly as the other one. So
So you
things
used to
split.
wear contacts,
Hmm.
but you haven't since probably since.
No, I could wear contacts right now. I just don't have an updated prescription
Okay,
for
so it's not
contacts.
something that's continuing to
No, and
affect your.
I've been used. So this is just a normal prescription, it's just updated because my vision also just non-related to the stroke has for like for my life has been slowly, getting worse. Like most people, I think.
Probably related a little bit to the stroke, I would imagine. Something
Potentially, yeah, the up close a little bit, but like the distance, I think that's just like age. It's been
because
every
you're
couple
a
years my
whopping
prescription
28 years
increases.
old now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, so while this was happening, it
Hmm.
must have been frustrating.
Oh,
I mean, because
yeah.
of you, or you know what's going on. It's not like your memory was you said was lost. Really, it
No,
was just
I
sort
mean,
of
I got
like
memory from it, but
going through this and not
I
being
was
able to
quite out of it.
move. What do you mean by out of it? Then
Like I couldn't really make many decisions myself. I don't know.
what was going on in your brain? Do you remember?
It. I don't know. Yeah, it was just. I mean, I was just trying to make it to the next day. That's all I can really remember. But it wasn't like I was thinking about, oh, I got to get out of here and go exercise or go back to my normal life. I was
Gotcha.
just like, I was more worried about trying to sleep. At some point, I couldn't like, felt like I couldn't fall asleep. I thought I slept a full night's sleep, and I'd wake up and I'd turn to the nurse and I'd be like, "What time is it?" And it's like 20 minutes later from when I shut my eyes, and that would be very disappointing.
Because you'd be sitting there in the damn hospital bed still,
Yeah, it's 3 a.m. and
not making no
I
progress
haven't
in 20
felt
minutes.
like I
and
haven't
feeling like,
slept in
yeah.
days because it would be like 20 minutes at a time. I
Were you just
couldn't
tired
sleep
all day?
longer.
That's why you're wanting to
I was
sleep.
very
And
tired. Yeah,
yeah,
for like at least 3 or 4 days there, I was just laying and sleeping.
even overnight, you couldn't. You find the same thing where you're waking up.
Yeah, I don't think I slept more than at the most an hour at a time.
Is it you like spinning and when your eyes are closed?
I got
Is that
super dizzy, like dizzy spells. Yeah, I would
yeah?
close my eyes and it felt like the whole room was spinning,
Mm-hmm.
which was odd. So that didn't help. So I do remember that every time that would happen, it would help if I got up and moved. By move, I mean get in the wheelchair and get pushed down the hallway, uh, just to get out of the room.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, okay, that was, and then I could close my, and then the dizziness would go away. So every time that happened, I'd be like, I need to go for a ride. I'd tell them, and then I would get pushed down the hallway.
So I remember you pacing a lot too, even after you
Oh,
got
yeah.
home from the hospital. Is that
Mhm.
is that part of why you felt you needed to pace too? Just leveling things out, or just kind of
I
like
think that
being
was
able
just
to
like, I don't think that was related to any dizziness. I think that was
nerves,
just,
energy, or what?
it was, yeah, I don't, it just was kind of like this anxiety or anxiousness. I didn't have any control over it. I just,
Yeah.
I couldn't, I felt like I couldn't sit down. I just had to like keep moving. And that would be in the, like, because we were going in for visits. Once we were home, we would go back into the hospital for different visits. I couldn't
Mhm.
even sit in the waiting rooms. I would stand up and I would just walk back and forth in the waiting rooms. I couldn't sit down,
Yeah.
which is why that second MRI didn't go well because I wanted to get up and walk around. and you're locked in for 20 to 30 minutes.
Do they like screw your head in place so you can't even move
You
can't
oh
move
yeah, and
anything?
it's tight.
You can't.
It's tighter than I thought it would be.
Jeez.
Yeah, you can't even you can't move your head like more than a millimeter. Like if you really wiggled, you could maybe get a tiny millimeter of movement, but you're locked in there, which is strange. I have another one coming up.
That's a really hard thing. Like that's, like being confined is like the biggest fear for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, if you're like claustrophobic,
yeah,
I would imagine they'd have to put you out.
Right, I
for
would
that.
think. Yeah.
I don't know how you would get through that. I'm not claustrophobic, and I at one point was like, "Ooh, it's kind of a lot." Yeah. And if you have a fear of this, you're not doing this. I don't know.
Audience, that's how you take a situation where you just can't get out of it. Ooh, that's a lot.
It was like it's kind of. I did ask for them to take me out, but they were like, "No, we can't take you out. Otherwise, we have to restart the whole thing again." I was like, "No, great."
Because they got to see like natural movement of the body and blood.
Yeah, so they can kind of compare all these pictures. They put you in again. You're in a slightly different position, I guess, and now it's different pictures. So,
yeah,
from my understanding, so they can't just take you out, and throw you back in, and be like, "All right, let's continue where we left off." I don't think that really works.
I don't know. So, what did you learn? Like you said when we first started, like, yeah, my life has changed a little bit, or my outlook. Your Survivor. Yeah. Let's say like, okay, so when you first started applying for Survivor, right? You had one type of outlook in life.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Post stroke.
How dare you say that? No. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think. Well, here's one thing we didn't touch on, and I haven't shared this with many people. I don't know if you might know this, but I had some mental health issues going on while I was in the hospital. Like I wanted to end my life for about 4 days. So that's why there was a lot of nurses in my room all the time. Like I think I had to be under 24/7 watch.
I think you had what do they call it? A nurse's aide or
yeah. But someone was in the room 24/7
or something like that. That was there
at all hours of the night and stuff, which was a little strange.
Why did you want to end your life?
See, that's weird. It just felt like the right decision in the moment. It wasn't like logical. I didn't like it was just. I think what it was is I've been stripped of everything I'm used to, right? And then 2, now I'm just I feel like I'm suffering. Like it was miserable. Like I can't see. I feel like I can't sleep. Like it truly felt like I was suffering. And I know there's other people suffering more, but it truly felt like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, your brain's like, well, one way to stop the suffering would be to die. I mean, like as morbid as it sounds, I think that's the logic behind it. But
so, a couple questions here. Were you? I mean, were you in pain?
I guess the real pain was the headache, but so it wasn't your normal pain. It wasn't like, ow, this hurts. It was it just was like, it's strange. It's like I can't do things on my own. People had to shower me. Like I couldn't even, and then you can't get comfortable. You can't so it wasn't painful, but it felt like I don't know. It's weird. The best word I can say is suffering, even though it wasn't like a painful suffering. It was like boy, my quality of life maybe has dropped
like
so much.
A 90-year-old after
stroke, I mean, it felt like I was on a deathbed,
but you need to have everybody help you.
Yeah. So there was some real thoughts, and I didn't act upon any of them. But
was it like it'd be better to be dead, or were you actually like kind of like planning shit in your head? And
well, it was it would be much better if I was dead. And then there was I was on some steroids, which also might have led to some of this depression. state of mind stuff. I don't know if that's a side effect
and then it
of
rages you too, I think.
And they just upped a little
enhance
bit of the dosage.
emotions. Okay.
It was supposed to help with like swelling and stuff in my head. But as soon as I started
So let's talk about steroids.
they took me off it.
Generally, I mean, I've heard of people getting steroid shots in their knee because the swelling is causing pain in their knee, so they get the steroid shot in their knee, whatever, and it reduces the swelling, and helps their knee feel better for a month or so.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the goal was, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Giving you steroids was to reduce swelling in the brain.
It was an oral
therefore
pill.
Reduce the symptoms that you're having.
Yeah.
But another, I guess, reaction to steroids in the body is it does enhance your emotional state.
Yeah.
Right? So in whatever I hear, whatever emotional state hey, Ronaldo, can you look this up for me to make sure I'm not saying something wrong?
And I'm actually out of this too.
Oh,
so
good. We'll take a pause in a sec. We'll call him and get his ass over here.
No, it does. I believe it is like side effects. Like that's one of them.
And whatever emotional state you're likely to exhibit is what gets increased in you. And people will cry more if they're like the sad type.
Yeah.
And they're, they're, general ragers, they're gonna be outrageous. Outrageous. So they obviously recognize then that you're suicidal. No plan. No, I mean, no, like.
Well, I was pretty like honest with them. I said I didn't like plan on like I was like I had certainly thought about it. Like, oh, these steroids you're giving me. In my head, I'm going, what if I took the whole bottle? That would be one, So I planned it that far. I didn't be like, all right, I'm gonna sneak them now, or stuff like that. And I was also on the 4th floor, so I'm looking at the window the whole time, going, wonder how far of a fall that is. Shit like that,
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't like I fully planned stuff out, but it was these thoughts started to travel to like, oh, what if this? What if that? For a few days, and then I finally kind of snapped out of that. I don't know. It just like one day I was like, I feel a little better maybe, and I was like, oh, I don't have those thoughts anymore. And at that point, they're not going to take your word for that. So there was a whole bunch of other steps you have to go through to kind of get cleared. But
right, a few days, that's quite a long time to be.
Yeah, it was very strange, and I had never felt that before. So I think my outlook, like it's given me a whole new outlook on like mental health.
Yeah.
I've heard of people having mental health issues, and I didn't really get it. Like you just, oh yeah, you have some mental health issues. Now I get it. Now it's like, okay, maybe I know what you're going through now, or at least have an idea, and I feel like I can relate a lot more now. One thing that actually we do a workout at the gym called Chad on Veterans Day. And it's kind of a mental health awareness day. Well, the past few years we've done that. Like I thought I understood like what the day meant, and like, veterans and PTSD and all this stuff.
Chad is a veteran that took his own life.
Yep. Yeah. Took his own life. So, and we kind of celebrate,
just so everybody knows, we
veterans on that day.
We do specific workouts annually pretty much to honor lost veterans.
Yeah, and this day, it's Veterans Day. We're honoring veterans, but we're also like honoring just mental health issues. It's a problem for everybody, not just veterans. It's a big problem in the veteran community. But and I'm not a veteran, but now like this year, it had a little bit more meaning to me. I was like, oh, I get it now. So even though I couldn't do much, I stepped up on my 4-inch plate and took breaks every 10 minutes, and it was basically like going for a 10-minute walk. But I did something, even though it was.
Did you do the 1,000 4-inch plate step ups? That's awesome.
I did.
So this had to be beginning of November, is Veterans Day?
Yeah, it's like November
I was out of the
11th
country.
or something, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I missed it. So you were, let's see, August, September, October, November, 3 months out of the stroke.
Yeah, just about.
And doing 4-inch step ups. So it's supposed to be 20-inch buck step ups.
With 45 pounds on your back.
With 40, and Nick was doing 4-inchers unweighted.
Unweighted.
Well, you did have more of
it might have been 8 inches. I might have had 2 plates.
And you did
4 to 8.
You did it more of a badunk at that time too.
Yeah.
You're putting
but
on a few pounds.
I think I stepped up for 10 minutes. So it was basically like going for a walk, a 10-minute walk, and then I sat down for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Then I did 10 more minutes of stepping up, sat down for 10 minutes. I think it took me just over an hour doing it that way to get 1,000 step up. So it was basically like going for a long walk, which I was already doing walks. So that's why I was like, I think this is okay. And it was fine. I got through it. And again, the day had more meaning.
Blood pressure too, partway through?
I was taking it every time I sat down. And it was where it needed to be. But yeah, to kind of circle back to the mental health thing, like it just gave it more meaning, that workout and everything, having that experience. So.
What else changed?
Well,
we still haven't talked about your Survivor video, how that's going to change. Because I mean, at one point you were planning on like doing a hide and go seek video.
Oh no, I think it's a good idea. I still think that's a good catchy right. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think it's hard to describe. I think, and that's the challenge of making these videos: is how do you express who you are in such a short amount of time? You know, it's tough because you have to. Your video is like 3 minutes or less. I think.
Yeah.
That's the challenge, but I think I can. Yeah, I don't. I'm struggling to find the words to even like. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like I have more of a motivation to go out and maybe do something. Like I want to go out and if I'm on Survivor, I want to win. Like I want to actually like live life more. Which is strange to say. It's like, yeah, technically, I guess I almost died. This is a dream of mine. Why wouldn't I go after it? Why wouldn't I go do it?
Did I ever tell you that when you went back into the hospital?
That's like the long stay when I went in for that.
I think so. Weren't you out for a day and then went right back? It was like right before your mental health stuff started. Right at.
Yeah, I might have had an ER visit in there, but not an overnight stay.
I think you were back. Something. But anyhow, then when you went back to the hospital, I said to Ronaldo, I was like, if Nick dies, we're getting the fuck out of here. Because I was like, this is like with Maggie too, just for audience knowledge, I guess. We have another coach at our gym. We have 6 coaches, right? Total.
Yeah.
And 2 of you now have, under the age of 27, experienced some serious trauma to the head, to the brain. So one of our coaches
and Maggie's got far worse news than I do, you know.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say.
Right. She's doing awesome. Knock on wood.
There you go.
But anyhow, 22-year-old with brain cancer, and then 27-year-old with a
hemorrhagic. I'm saying that wrong, but hemorrhagic stroke.
Yeah, for some reason.
I'm just gonna say stroke.
Aneurysms and the top of my head still on it.
Yeah.
Maybe because my relatives have had aneurysms, and I'm possibly having one right now. Who knows? I don't know. But anyhow, I said it to Ronaldo. I was like, you know, life's too short. Because he and I are like 27 years apart, right?
Yeah.
So he's just starting his career, and I'm ready to retire and get the hell out and do something. Didn't I tell you like 3 years ago? I was like, can I winter and then come back for my job? It was a few years back. And so I've been trying to do that. But then when you went through this year, I'm like, we're freaking doing it.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, strange. Yeah, we just maybe the last couple things on the stroke. I was just reminiscing maybe the past few days with some friends and stuff, and Sam, my wife, of like different things that happened during it. Like which is just, and now I can just laugh at it, but because we were just watching the Packers play the Eagles in the playoff game, and the last time I watched the Packers and Eagles play was right after I got home from the hospital from my 7-day stay. And I was still having like incidents where I was freezing up and I was way out of it. And I really wanted to watch the Packers play, and it was on Peacock. So you needed a special subscription. So I'm at home with our little tablet, and I'm trying to sign up for Peacock on my own. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. Like I was just so mentally, like my finger couldn't hit the buttons. It needed an email address, and I knew my email address, but I couldn't type it in. So I am begging my wife Sam to like help me get this thing figured out. And it's just such a silly situation. It's like,
yeah, and to be
I
clear,
wouldn't have any issues
this
doing that
isn't
now.
memory stuff. It's not like oh, I can't remember my
No.
password or
Yeah.
username. This is like I can't get
It's like
my finger.
It's like a motor function. Yeah, I can't tap.
to the-
I can't touch the screen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very strange.
There
So
were some
we're
other
just
things
laughing
that
at that.
happened prior to that too. I think that. Do you
There was another
remember some
one.
of the things they had you draw and what you drew? And...
Oh, so I'll get to the drawing one. There was another one at home, and then I'll get to the one in the hospital. The one at home, like I believe Sam just showered me because, again, I couldn't shower myself. I would get into the shower and my hands wouldn't know how to wash my body. Like I couldn't do it. Like
I remember you telling me that was one of the things that
Yeah.
you were afraid of going home for.
So it's super, that's super strange. But
Freaking
anyway, so
out.
I got out of the shower. There's a laundry basket here, and I'm trying to put a sock in the basket. That's all I'm trying. Like sock, open basket, and I got halfway to the basket, and I was stuck.
Couldn't open your fingers, or...
I couldn't figure out how to drop the sock into the bin, and it was like, and Sam's telling me just drop it in, like a child, and I can't. So then she's like, use your other hand, and eventually my other hand came up and was able to put it in the basket. But my left hand's just hovering over the basket. All I had to do was open my hand and move it. I couldn't, so we were laughing about that the other day. I was like, remember when I couldn't put a sock in the bin? It's just strange stuff like that. And then at the hospital, they're doing tests on you, to see kind of how you're doing. And it might have been like an occupational therapy or a physical therapy thing. And one of them was you needed to draw a clock. And then to put like a circle, put all the numbers, and then make it 11:10 or something like that on the time. Well, I did my circle, and I start doing the numbers, and all of a sudden I have two 12s at the top of my clock, and I'm immediately like, well, shoot. I think I failed. I don't know how I got two 12s there, but I know I've messed up now, so I was conscious enough to know I did it wrong, but I don't know how I did it wrong. And then I'm drawing the hands on this clock that doesn't have the right numbers on it. So I was begging them to let me try again, and they wouldn't let me. But then the second time they come around with the test, I did the same thing.
Really?
I screwed it up again.
Two 12s?
I think so. I think I got to the top. It was like 12.
And how much later did they come? Was it the same day, or was it like
No, this was like a day or two later. And then they finally like maybe the day before I left, I got to do it a third time, and I passed, and I was so excited that I drew the clock right.
Baby steps.
I was super excited.
Baby steps.
Yeah, very strange. So that was some of the funny things I can laugh at now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of like to the point where it's hopefully.
I feel pretty good. I get very tired.
Another year and a half to before you can really work
just
out,
about,
I guess, ish.
That's the current outlook. Yeah. I get very tired still, and like last night, I was I'm at the gym coaching my last class, and I just felt like I had to sit down, so I sat down for 5 minutes while they were working out. I just couldn't. I could feel like I couldn't stand anymore. Like I was like, whew.
Yeah.
And it was a long day. I maybe should have took a nap during the afternoon because I knew it was gonna be a longer day. Going from 8 I started my day at
That's right.
8 o'clock and ended it at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That can be a long day. I don't think I sat down at all throughout the whole day.
Yeah, that 10 would be better to start Mondays with then, huh?
Yeah.
At this point.
But I'm learning, like, Monday, maybe I'll take a nap in the afternoon. And a nap kind of does me pretty good, but
I still think your sleep needs to be more consistent.
It is pretty good.
You need to get rid of that one bright and early class on Thursdays.
No, Thursdays I felt really good. I do my class.
You get done by 5, right? You do the 4.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, in the evening, yeah. But I'd take a nap on Thursdays. I feel Thursdays have so far, but Mondays have been the worst day for me so far. I think it's the length of day is the difference maker. But
so you said that you now kind of want to like experience stuff. You want to do stuff after.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just a motivation to. Again, it's hard to put in words. I don't want to I don't need to go travel the world.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the point I was getting at. Like, didn't you get back from a month overseas?
We just did a big trip,
legit 2 weeks before that whole incident.
Yeah, but that was never my dream.
Is it something that you drank maybe over there or ate?
Right, yeah. It was probably all the booze. Right. I don't normally drink, and we drank a lot over there.
Right.
But going back to that trip wasn't. I've never had that on my radar. That was.
It was kind of a sudden.
It was some friends of Sam that are friends of mine now, and they planned this trip, and Sam like, right, we'll come with. So I never really even thought about ever in my life going to those countries. Was it very cool? Absolutely, but it wasn't like, boy, I've thought about doing that. So when I think about Survivor, I'm like, I've been thinking about doing that for years. Why am I not doing it? Why didn't I make a video last year? That's so silly to not make a video.
Well, maybe somehow you were connected to the universe and knew that you're going to be experiencing something else that perhaps would take you out of out of the play. I mean, people are connected more than you think. I'm learning that too by getting my meditation practice back. It's so helping reconnect to my joy.
It is.
I used to create all the time. That was my thing. I was always creating, and I just stopped at not having a meditation practice. Now being back at that, I'm like, hey, let's do a podcast studio. We'll put some YouTube videos up.
On to the next thing. You do have a lot of ideas. You're an idea guy.
I am the idea guy, and it usually goes to the wayside, because I come up with other ideas and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't thought that Tsuzen Luckey is stupid by now because it's been a couple months. So
the name is a bit strange to me still.
I love it.
No one's going to know how to say it.
Tsuzen Luckey. It's not that hard to say.
Yeah, but it's to Susan, so that's why it's weird.
No, it's Tsuzen. So if we did a Survivor, where would you want to go? Doesn't matter.
What do you mean where?
They've done it pretty much exclusively 5 different places, right?
They only do it in Fiji now.
Oh, really? Is it only in Fiji now? Why did they change it up?
It's cheaper.
San Juan del Sur would have been great.
Yeah, some of these places would be cool. It's just cheaper and it's easier to do for them.
I didn't know that.
Easier production.
When did they start doing that?
I don't know when the last one was somewhere else besides Fiji. It's been many, many years.
Is it really? Well, see, I'm not up on that. Did I ever tell you about that bad trip I had?
No.
I think I did. Maybe it was right before.
Probably did. I don't remember.
I wasn't wanting to have a trip.
Like a psychedelic trip?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember this now. I thought you were talking about a physical trip.
That's kind of how when you were describing I was in such a bad place, I just couldn't figure out how to. It wasn't like a painful thing, but it was like a mentally painful thing. That's kind of like the cycle I got stuck in. Remember I told you there was it was like multiple lives kind of rolling in from all different directions. It was like on a wheel or like a system of roller coasters and all these different lives, and I could see them kind of happening inside these life balls, and they were all kind of bound together, and they all just kept kind of rolling into one, and then just sort of took it one way or another. And every time I would like be in one, end up in one, I'd recognize it. It was either has happened or gonna happen or was happening now. But once I was in it, it was happening now, and in my brain, I could was this past, present, future, kind of figuring that out. But then it was all happening now, and whenever I chose one, and then I get to the point where I'd be like, yes, I know this, and then it would end up folding into a different life, and like nothing ever resolved. Like, you'd be in this life for a little bit, nothing would resolve, and then you'd be flipping into another one, and then be in that life for a little bit, and that didn't resolve. And so it was this constant, like, never resolved, never resolved, never resolved. Like, oh, I feel good, never resolve. Oh, I feel good, never resolve. And it was to the point where I was like, I had to wake Ronaldo up. I'm like, I need you to watch me, because I need to make sure you keep me safe, and me and the dog safe. Because I was like, I was gonna go, and right there, I was like, I kind of started wondering if all those friends that have taken their lives that I've known, ended up having bad trips and didn't know anything else to do, like, and didn't have somebody there to protect them, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, if you're alone during that,
oh my God,
it'd be terrible.
It was horrible. I didn't
If
know
I
what
was,
to do.
if I didn't have anyone in the room, that'd
Yeah.
have been really bad,
Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing.
There's more meaning behind mental health to me now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And there's way more going on in life, in the world, in the brain, and
oh yeah,
than we give it credit, than a lot of people give it credit. I like to think I'm kind of open to a whole bunch of bullshit that's going on in the universe that we don't get, but
gotcha. I'm more of a science guy.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you're just like, yeah, no, he's talking crazy. That Susan over there is talking crazy.
Yeah, to Susan over here. Well, one last thing. So I was talking, like, Survivor's my dream, but I think I've shared this with you outside of here. Like, another dream of mine is, and it seems silly, but maybe it's not silly. Like, I want to own and operate a food truck. Like, I think that would be
You're still on that.
Yeah, well, I think I want to do that.
Week and a half. So it's pretty good.
I've been thinking about this for maybe a month or two now. And I've had this thought before, but it's just been like a little thought, like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. But again, now that it's like, well, if I have a dream to do something, why wouldn't I go do it?
Interesting. Yeah. What does the wife feel about that?
She doesn't like it, but she doesn't want to work in a food truck. I think it'd be a good family business. I think you could actually.
So a couple questions about that. What would you serve?
I don't know. I need to come up with a menu. If we collaborated, we would.
I'll do breakfast. It would be have it for the rest of the day.
So it's like it could even just be an exclusively kind of breakfast themed truck.
Could be.
You can serve brunch, right? You can serve breakfast for lunch. That's totally fine.
You could work it in the winter while I'm wintering.
Well, I don't know. I don't know that many food trucks operate in the winter around here. Which is another nice thing. Like, it can be a seasonal thing. Like, it's not during the winter. You're not working a whole lot.
Or if you want to spend some time in Southern California or Florida or
travel
Texas
and do
whatever, go take the food truck down and make some money while you're doing it.
Yeah, and I just think it'd be a
food trailer.
You want it to be a trailer, yeah.
Yeah, you want it to be a trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to pull it and leave it.
Yeah. From what I've known, if you have a truck that drives itself, well, if that breaks down, you no longer have a business.
Right.
Right. But if you have a trailer, you can always get it hauled somewhere.
Right. And if you have to run to the grocery store for something, you don't have to.
You got to just move the whole truck.
You don't have to use the food truck.
Yeah. Just ride your bike, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I honestly think, like, I don't know. If I still have this thought in another month, maybe I'll start making more plans.
Say it's up and running for 6 months or a year.
What about it?
What are you getting out of it? What do you think about the food truck is going to fulfill you?
I honestly think it would be actually like fun work.
Like
you get to work for yourself. Yeah, I mean, you get I don't mind
One thing you're really good at
being behind the counter.
One thing you're really good at is bringing excitement to odd little things.
Am I bringing excitement?
Yeah. So I mean, like a workout or a water bottle or something you might win or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You tend to.
Yeah, it's fun to.
People might
hype
roll
it up.
their eyes, but you.
Well, if you're excited about it,
right?
You can make other people excited about it for sure. It's contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be kind of just like where I'm working now, like managing the gym. Doesn't feel like work most of the time.
Right.
When I worked at the grocery store, felt like when you're like working for someone you don't want to work for. So it feels like you're working.
We didn't get into any of that, like those job
stuff
things
like that.
and all that fun stuff.
Like that's for another day.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like you're working because you like what you're doing. And I genuinely think if you're working for yourself and like, oh yeah, this is like I built this. This is I think it doesn't feel like you're working. Sure, you're grinding, but it would be a good way to have income for the a retirement future.
It would be much better than the meditation studio.
Well, you got some members.
And the Tsuzen Luckey podcast at this point.
Well, yeah, maybe you'll get a sponsor of Bubbly or LaCroix here soon.
Right.
But I think it would be a good.
But I hear
income.
you. I mean, the joy and the passion of doing something that you totally want to do, and it doesn't feel like work. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing the meditation studio.
Yes.
But yeah,
I can tell you're passionate about both.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I appreciate you being the first guest on the Tsuzen Luckey podcast.
Yeah, thanks to Tsuzen. Lucky, sorry.
You can call me Tsu.
Tsu. Gotcha. Tsu.
Nobody calls me Tsuzen. Everybody calls me Sue.
Tsu. Tsu.
Tsu you.
All right. Thanks for having me. Let's Ronaldo hit the outro
Randall.
song.
Yeah, Nick Randall, thanks for being here. Camera's gonna go to you because I'm gonna hit the song.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Tsuzen Luckey podcast #1 in the books.
Trying to get a few drops out of it. There it is. I don't hear the song. Oh, you got the volume all the way down. Fade to black. Fade to black. Oh, the audio sounded. The camera, the audio sounded great the whole time. I thought.
So, something felt less comfortable.